and welcome all of you to my YouTube channel, Animals and Pets with Partha. Last episode I devoted to the history of the dog game in India, and I mentioned a few of the great judges that I have known over the years. But lately, the dog game has changed, especially in Asia. In those days when we started in dogs, there was India and Ceylon, as far as, of course, there was Japan, but India was far before the others, and closely was Ceylon, because that also was very much frequented by the Britishers, and the British settlement was there, so they ruled Ceylon at the time. So the Ceylon Kennel Club still bears testimony to that great legacy of the English Kennel Club. But attempts have been made by some European companies to shell out logos and this and that, and to promote judges, of course, mostly very poor quality judges, and with unscrupulous, because they want a holiday. There are so many thousands competing to get appointments, and Asia is a wonderful place to have a holiday, because here, of course, because of this, of course, they consider that people with fair skin, because the English were fair skin, because they think they are very knowledgeable people as far as dogs are concerned. But most of this, of course, from England, we have never had any bad judges, no bad reputation, neither from Australia or New Zealand and many other countries, even South Africa. But many of these European countries, I must admit, there are plenty brilliant judges in Europe belonging to that company that actually promotes all the judges across, because they want to sell their dogs to Asian countries, especially all across Asia, Thailand, everywhere. Korea, small countries, Vietnam, and whatever. So the dog game is promoted because the people with money, they send their money to this European breeders, bring down this dog, and then their judges come and judge them. So, and mostly the top class judges are difficult to come by, difficult to get an appointment from Europe. They do have some really brilliant personalities who wouldn't bend for money, but most of them would bend for favors and things like that. And so that is how the dog game has slowly but certainly, under this European company, has actually deteriorated, and is now it's a very sad state of affairs. And the dog game in general has broken up into many splinters. But of course, for all that, the most person who is responsible for this entire damage and the devastation in the dog game of India is the syndicate. The syndicate is a very popular person now in the dog world, and not only in India but across the world, because he has so many multifaceted talents that has to be really researched into. Then only you will get to know the whole content of the syndicate. Well, when he first started judging, of course, he got his license because he's the man who actually started giving license to most of the people. I'm fortunate that I became a judge before the syndicate, and so he has no hand in claiming that he was the person to give me that license. Anyway, so what did he do? The first, initially when he started growing, there was a Mr. Chawal. Many people, old people in the dog game who knows, Bangkok, there was, the shows were smaller, much smaller than what it is today. And then Mr. Chawal was actually negotiating for international judges. So it so happened that I went to judge, and Mr. Chawal was the person who actually came in. He knew English, so obviously, so he was sent to coordinate with me and tell me the next day's program, and even give me company for dinner and things like that. So he, suddenly I was very surprised when he said, well, that, of course, he mentioned his name, I won't, is the syndicate. He said, he was, he came here and he was sick. He was vomiting, and the club was worried. The club was rushing doctors. But then in the evening, he would say he wanted women. He wanted to hire not one, but more women. So it was very surprising. In the days, the 2 or 3 days that he spent here, he was ill. Yeah, and he barely could judge. But then in the nights, he wanted to have women. So that was very surprising. And I was, I didn't know. I was speechless. So this is the sort of reputation. And then, of course, that kept, so I knew that. I didn't want to tell anyone. But then what happened? The world came to know about it, because he went to other countries and started chasing co-judges, women co-judges. So, which is very, very much known around the world. So, it's no more a secret. So, this is the sort of person, and of course, as you know, he's so corrupt, he's looted so much of money from the dog game. And now, of course, some of that money has had to be returned by orders of the court. But anyway, the matters will get normal in India, and the dog game will certainly get together and come together and unite and make this dog game again a wonderful place, and this sport, this wonderful sport, the respect that it deserves. But anyway, there are other clubs which I must mention that they have been doing a fantastic job. They've been running shows on their own. Maybe their small shows are small. They, all this great, the so-called great imports with this fancy European ladies handling blue eyes and short skirt and things like that, and running down the ring. You may not see them. You may, some basic shows. Maybe their handlers are maybe a little below the standard, you may say, but in my case, as far as my opinion is concerned, it's not true. But nevertheless, those clubs have been doing a great job. They have actually been giving support to the many genuinely interested dog breeders and exhibitors and enthusiasts who can at least go to a show and enjoy a day with their dogs and their family. But there are 3 or 4 that I know. Of course, I've been mentioning their names, and everyone knows it. The Indian National Kennel Club is the most oldest and the most respectable amongst them, because it's old and it's been doing a great job for over 70 years or so. But there are others like the United Kennel Club Bharat and United Kennel Club, there are others. And there are many, many shows which are private shows organized. But fortunately, they are not corrupt. There are certain shows which are organized by veterinary departments, the doctors. The doctors really are not involved in keeping and wanting to win dogs. So they're not interested in the sponsors who will pay them, money and these things like that. So because the government, it's a government also pays a lot of money to organize these shows. So they're really well off, I think. And so I don't judge nowadays, because until this syndicate is, the dog game of India gets rid of this syndicate, I am not going to, that's my promise, that I will not start judging again. But anyway, that is, I'm sure, the time is not far when the syndicate will be thrown out of this dog game, and he will have a very disgraceful exit from the Indian dog world. So with these words, and I would say that I also do sometimes, of course, with special requests from universities, veterinary colleges, where they require, the students are enthusiastic to know, and they will come and discuss with you, want to talk about dog, what is dog show and things like that. Why do you do this and why do you do that? And, of course, the dog judges have to know, they have to know basic about the soundness of animals, because if they are breeders themselves, they have to go into the medical part of it. They got to look up the anatomical part, the skeletal part, and the weaknesses. And so they should be able to know a very sound animal with, structurally and mentally. So all these things to put together, it's not a very small subject. So it's every moment of my life, I feel if I learn at least one sentence about the dog world, about dogs, then, it makes me feel good. and I feel I've lived a really a very eventful day and a very, very satisfying day, because that is my passion, that is my pursuit, and I will keep doing it till the last breath. I will keep learning about dog. It doesn't matter because it is not, I am not interested, of course, to show off whatever and go around judging. I've done that for 35 years, right from 1985 onwards to, I've been doing it all these years. And I've judged many, many shows, and I'm very fortunate, and I'm very, very obliged and grateful, and I most humbly accept the love and affection that has been showered upon me. My many great seniors like Lieutenant Colonel Ray Underwood, and many, that Arthur Lane, Laurie Grant, and so many, most of them are all dead and gone. So they were the people, I've got the blessings of them, and I have learned a lot that will carry me further, even if I don't. So I keep judging little bit, only sometimes, but I will come back and again judge, God willing. Bye bye. See you again soon.